Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Social Impactors podcast. I have someone here who you probably know from LinkedIn, a powerhouse on it, Matt Gagnon, incredible dude, one of my good friends on LinkedIn, and he's here today as the guest for the week. And so Matt, I want to introduce you, and I want if you can talk a little bit about who you are, what you do, and why you believe you're a social impactor.
Absolutely. First, my Canadian brother, I got to call it out. You pronounce my last name Gagnon. It's Gagnon. It's French Canadian.
Oh, Gagnon, yeah.
Come on. I never would have expected it from a fellow Canadian.
Yeah, that's
my Texan brothers, absolutely. Yeah. But no, I love it. I'm just messing with you. But Gagnon, yeah. What was the question? You threw me off.
No worries. The question was who you are, what do you do, and why do you believe you're a social impactor?
All right. I love it. You got it, man. So I am Matt Gagnon, and I run a company called Life Story Coaching and Development. And basically, the whole foundation of what I do is about helping people connect to their core values in life. I have this belief that we all have 3 to 5 core values in life that, when honored, they fill our tanks and they evoke the best in us. I mean, it's like fuel tanks. But the problem is, so many people in life are living life with values that have been defined by others. Someone has told you, this is what success looks like. This is what fulfillment looks like. You have to have a big house. You need to have a 6-figure salary. All of these things, like so many people put like such a big emphasis around 6 figures. I don't even know if that's what that means. I really want to help people figure out what their values are, because if that's the foundation of what we do, then it's so much easier to help you find that next career for you, or even how to be even better in the current, career that you're in by honoring your values. How to pick the inner circle of friends that you surround yourself with. They need to align with those values. Here's one of the biggest things I can tell you is that you can tell if you're not aligning your values. If you have to show up to work as a different person than you show up at home, there's a problem.
Yeah.
There's a problem. You're wearing a mask, you're putting on a show. I want to help people around that. I'm really good at helping people in career transitions, life transitions, people coming out of a divorce, people who are looking to, maybe get in shape, life goals, whatever it is. I can help with that, but I can't do it until you know and I know what your core values are. So it's the foundation of everything. Even when it comes to LinkedIn. Like when I help people create LinkedIn profiles, it's not about LinkedIn. I'm helping people learn how to talk about themselves. The one thing they don't want to do, I'm helping people learn how to talk about themselves and what they stand for, value, and believe in. So that's the essence of what I do.
That's amazing. No, and I need to plug it a little bit. I remember when I went through a little bit of my dark period of my time for a couple of months. I had a call with you, and it was a simple call, but I don't want to swear too much. But I remember you said you called me on my bullshit. You said just get out of it, and that simple statement, after I thought about it, it changed it, man. It really did.
I would never say bullshit. How dare you? I would never curse. So, but yeah, no, yeah. Well, I'm glad. No, it's an honor for me though. That's the thing about what I do for my work, is that it's an honor for me to witness that kind of stuff. That you'd be willing to open up with me and share that time with me, and I can witness those transformations. That's huge, man. Like that's just, that fills my heart. So, and again, my work, I would do this job for free if I could. That's when I know I've got an amazing job.
Yeah. I love it. So let's jump into some of the questions then too. You've talked a little bit about what you do and who you are, but how are you making a positive impact in your community, whether online or offline? What's that look like?
Yeah, well, before we even get into that, I'm going to throw a curveball at you. And that is, my mom is coming through the front door right now.
Oh, nice.
So there's my mom. Like, hey, I'm on a live podcast right now. Come on over. So that's been the fun part of this whole journey, is just like, you just don't know what's going to happen. So this is my mom.
Hi.
Paula. And so this is Avery.
Hi,
we're on a podcast right now about social impact.
Nice
so
to meet you.
he says it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
All right, good. So
awesome. I love it.
I hope that's a podcast first for you.
Oh, it is. It is.
So that's super cool. So the question was social impact, right? How do I make an impact in my community?
Yeah.
Awesome. So that's actually one of my core values too, is being involved in community. It was something that I got disconnected from for a long time. I remember a time in my life where I wasn't living a life aligned with my values and how lost that felt. It was really about honoring values that I thought other people wanted for me. And I was always working. It was career. And so I stopped volunteering and I stopped being involved in my community. And I forgot how much I missed that. And so 3 years ago, when I really started this journey, a little over 3 years ago, that was one of the first things I did was like, I was on disability and I was broke and I was starting this new business and I wanted to do healthy, life-giving activities instead of taking more pills, more prescriptions, more doctors. And one of the first things I did was sign up to volunteer in my community. And so I was volunteering at my church. I was getting involved in some men's groups, instantly started refilling my tanks. It actually helped me so much because I was helping, even though I was in a lot of need in that time in my life, it felt so good to help others who were also in need because it got me out of my own head. And I think that's why I really enjoyed the coaching piece too, because I was serving others who were in need. So I believe in making a social impact. I believe that the work that I do is to help make an impact in other people's lives, which helps make them better members in their community. And I want that to kind of spread, so I'm very passionate about having a social impact. I'm big on that even when it comes to LinkedIn. I treat my LinkedIn community the same way I would treat my hometown community. And that's what I think has made it very special for me. It's about giving and planting seeds. It's a garden, man. So I very much believe in that.
I love that. That's amazing. No, and I can see it in everything that you post, but it's nice to hear that there's that offline and online, and although there might be two separate communities, they're still treated the same way, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the next question is, I think you've already kind of said it, but let's elaborate a little bit more. Do you believe social impact is an important part of business? And if so, then why?
Oh, and why? I love the add-on to that. That's good. So yes, it's super important to me. To me, it's important. It's the fuel behind what I do. But with anything that you do in life, and any time a client of mine wants to take this next step in their life, there's always the why behind it. That's what's important to me. When somebody says, I want to get a new job or I need this promotion, my first question really will be is, well, how will you live your life differently once you get that promotion, once you get that job? If you really don't know the answer to that, then what's the point? Yeah. And so I really want people to understand the why behind things. And there's usually some bigger impact, actually. Usually it's people who want to spend more time with their family. Like if I get this job, I want to spend more time with my family. I want to travel more. I want to be in nature more. I want to volunteer more. So if you really understand the why behind your goals, most of the time you'll see that there is some kind of impact that you want to make in this world. Everybody that I've ever spoken with has some kind of impact or legacy that they want to leave in this world. Yeah. So I believe it's important to all of us at some core level that we want to have some kind of impact. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be some profound transformational thing to have an impact in this world. One of the smartest, things I ever heard came out of a young man. I think he was around the age of 15, the son of a really good friend of mine. And I remember him just saying, for me, social impact, we were actually talking about this conversation. He said, for me, this social impact is about just one person at a time. Just I do the best I can to have an impact on one person at a time. And I hope then they have an impact on one person, too. And it just spreads. And you know what? He was in a room filled with all these, much older adults, really super smart business people, entrepreneurs, all these impactors already. And here he was, in the simplest way of saying it. It was one of the most genius, heartfelt things I heard. Yeah. One person at a time. How simple is that? Like you can make the difference in one person's day, and that can have an epic social impact. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be complicated. it can literally just be as simple as just trying to help somebody out.
That's that human connection, right? That people forget about, but it's so important because you don't need to change a billion people's minds, but if you change one or if you help one person, that's something.
Yeah, it's a multiplying effect, you know. It's just like, I don't think people understand how big their networks are, you know, and the impact that you can have. So, you know, for example, like if you have 30,000 connections, you know, on LinkedIn, that's not just your network. Like, you also have their network too, you know. And if you think about it, like if the average person on LinkedIn has 400 connections, you know, it's not a lot, but that's true. Out of like 600 million users, the average person has about 400 connections. So if you have a connection list of 30,000 people and every single one of those connections has a minimum of 400 connections, what is that, like 12 million people in your network? Yeah. At minimum, you know. Like, I figured the math out the other day. I was like, all right, about 30,000 plus connections, followers, whatever. And then I was like, and say they all have 400 connections. That's like 12 million people that have access to what I'm putting out there. You know, like, your impact is way bigger than your connection list. Yeah. You know, and then it's not even counting the people around you, and just how you show up in life has an impact on people. Just the way you show up. You don't understand the impact that you're making sometimes, because people might not ever tell you. You might never get the chance for someone to actually tell you, like, hey, you made an impact on my life. But I guarantee you it's happening. And I've been gifted, and I've had people tell me when they've been gifted with those experiences where somebody said, you have no idea what kind of impact you've made on my life. I've been watching you on social media. I had a client of mine recently tell me that story about how he traveled back home recently, hadn't been there for a while, reunited with some friends from college, and they were like, you have no idea the impact you've had on my life. You know, and it wasn't about like profound things they were doing. It was literally just about the way they chose to show up in life. Amazing.
That is amazing. So then, how would you suggest that other people in your community, but also in other communities, how do they start making that positive social impact in their lives?
Well, the first thing that I would say is figure out what is the cause, or what is the impact that you really want to have? Like, what really aligns with your values? You know, you're passionate about nature? Are you know, passionate about, you know, working with kids? You know, is there some kind of cause out there that you feel driven to be a part of? Is there a problem in this world that you want to solve? You know, and again, it's just, how can you take a baby step towards being a part of that? You know, sometimes it could be as simple as just, you know, volunteering, you know, with a youth group, you know, or, you know, some kind of cleanup effort, or working, you know, Austin, Texas, there's an amazing, you know, movement out there, Mobile Loaves and Fishes with Alan Graham. This was a guy who was once homeless, and now he runs a huge community project, you know, for building tiny homes now to actually end homelessness, you know, like, and I love what that guy does, you know, so it's easy to get involved with that. You can just find the simplest things, or even just really, if you want to start somewhere, maybe it's just as simple as just smiling at a total stranger. I know that sounds goofy, but like, sometimes that changes somebody's day, you know, just interacting with somebody. It's these little things that we can do where we can choose to say hello to somebody, choose to smile, choose to make eye contact, choose to open the door for someone, that could literally just change the course of someone's day, you know? So I can start as small as that, and you can go as big as to volunteering and starting your own cause and being a part of a solution. So that's the thing. If you're constantly ranting about a problem in this world, try and figure out how you can be a part of a solution.
Yeah. Find a solution for it. I love that.
Yeah.
Matt, thank you so much for being on the Social Impactors podcast. The one thing that I think is a huge takeaway is that it could be as small as a smile or as large as something, but they're both an impact. Yeah, I love it. Thank you for being on. It's great to have you. I'm looking forward to more stuff from you, and keeping connected, man.
Absolutely, my friend. I'm sad to see that this is over, but this has been an absolute pleasure. And for those of you watching, we've got to call out the elephant in the room. Yeah, that's a real working rotary phone behind me. This is my childhood home, and that thing is awesome. That's built to last. So
that's awesome.
All right.
Oh, cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.